Welcome to Soul Sync.
What up?
Hey.
Are we
Huh.
doing the oh, oh? Are we doing the welcome to Soul Sync?
Me with my roller over here,
Hey,
rolling out these muscles because Coach Sammy is killing me in a good way.
I love it, dude. I love it. Crushing the 6 week challenge.
Girl, I'm trying. Girl, thank you.
Nah, you doing? Have you seen your workouts? Except you missed your pictures this week, and I reminded you.
Girl, I know. I need to get back. But I dragged my mom into my hawker walk.
Ah,
I squeezed my hawker walk right before my started my new job on my first day.
my God, I love that. I know you've been crushing it. I saw that and I was like, go girl, go girl.
Oh yeah. So what are we talking about today, Sammy?
We are talking about the energy of the spring equinox and how this time is just really a rebirth for your energy. And there's so many new things happening. There's so many new things you're going to be manifesting. So, we're going to be talking about some of the things that Taylor and I are manifesting, but also what things you can do to help get you in this energy, right? To keep you in alignment with all those good vibes that we're creating for 2024.
Priorities, people.
Mhm.
We're not just talking like vision boards, like goal setting. No, we're manifesting this shit. I mean, those are great like things to help do that. But the springtime is all about resetting, clearing out the old, welcoming the new. And we're just going to be talking about the best ways that we think we can do that. So, what are we manifesting moving forward? Because spring equinox is technically like the energetic new year.
Mhm.
So they say like the new year, starts in January, whatever, but springtime is really when the new year starts.
Mhm.
So I always think about like what you would do for New Year's, the first day of the year to set off and kick off the rest of the year, to be the best year possible and make sure all your goals come true. So, what do you do for that?
I have been thinking about what I wanted to manifest, and during the new year, I set in all these intentions, but we had a couple things come up where our plans had changed a little bit. So I feel like when I went to Bali, I really rethought, okay, what do I want for this year? However, when it comes to the spring equinox, I haven't put too much thought into what I would be manifesting, but one of the key methods that has helped me out a ton when it comes to manifesting is fucking talking to Taylor. Okay. Like
Mhm.
talking to my best friend and brain dumping about all the things that I want to do and the ways that I want to embody myself and how I want to grow. So, honestly, we're going to get into it, Taylor, just like that, because I feel like that's what I need. And I think it'd be a really good way for our listeners to just see how we talk about these things.
I think that's perfect. I think maybe that's the whole purpose and why we did this so on the spot. Cause I was thinking, and I was like, shit, I don't know what I'm manifesting either. Like, there's obviously stuff, you want, but then you look back and you're like, well, I already got that. I already
Yeah.
manifested that. And I manifested that. And then you kind of get to this like lull period where it's time to like, look at your life again and just kind of like see what you want and moving forward where you want to go. So I think that's a perfect conversation for today. We're gonna
I
figure out our shit.
And it's so funny because Taylor and I were like debating on a time, and we kept saying, it's just going to happen in divine timing. It's just going to happen in divine timing. And I feel like it's the same with the topics that we talk about. They're just, even listening back, like I was listening back to our most previous episode about how just everyone in your life has a purpose. Ooh, did that shit get me? Okay.
Girl,
I
me
feel
too.
like I learn just as much listening to us back as I do having the conversation in the first place.
Me too. I know. It's like little diaries of ours and just like reminders of being like, but it's weird because it's coming from our own mouths. You know what I mean? So when I hear it, I like am right back in the conversation, right back in that headspace. And I'm like, oh yeah, shit. I do know that. Okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
100%. And I think another thing, especially when it comes to manifesting, I can manifest something that I don't want just as easily as I can something that I do want. And the
Yep.
past couple of months before going to Bali, honestly, I was learning that lesson. I feel like for all of 2023, I was building Coach Sammy, and that was something I came to you about. I remember when I was crying about my vision boards, and I was like, Taylor, like, how the fuck am I going to build this business enough that I can quit my full-time job and move across the country when Tom and I didn't even know where we wanted to move until we went on our road trip in March. And I've never moved across the country, so I had no idea how to do any of that. And there were just so many moving parts that I had to get really comfortable in just the unknown. And one thing that really helped me was visualization and visualizing what do I want? Like if I have no idea what it looks like or how I'm going to do it, at least I can focus on just the characteristics of what I want. So for example, one of those things that I really wanted for this year that unfortunately I didn't get was I had put in my head that I could manifest a first flight ticket to Bali, not realizing that they're like 30,000 fucking dollars. When I looked this up, I was just like, damn, dude.
$30,000.
Yes. And the business class can be anywhere from like 7 to 10.
What are you sitting on Jesus's lap the whole time? Like, what? That's wild.
So it was in that moment where I was like, I already know this isn't feasible. Like, I just would never even drop that amount of money on a ticket anyway. It just doesn't really seem worth it to me, especially at this
Mhm.
point in my life. So I was like, this isn't what I want anymore. That's okay. So I started focusing on the characteristics. And the characteristics was that I wanted to be comfortable. I wanted to have my own space. I wanted to be able to lie out and enjoy. I wanted to be able to like just go to the bathroom whenever I wanted, just like those little things of comfortability, especially on a 16+ hour flight when you have multiple layovers. So I
Mhm.
started thinking about that. And believe it or not, my way there was amazing. I got a row all to myself that they fucking offered me. And I met all the best people. The woman on the way home was so inspirational. I was like, oh my gosh, girl, like I want to be you when I'm that age. But then I had manifested the best ride there. And I noticed, speaking of like manifesting things we don't want, on the way home, I was like, well, what's the likelihood that I'm going to get that again? Or when they were boarding the plane, I was really trying to get a different seat because I wanted to be able to go to the bathroom often because I wasn't feeling good as I had caught that cold. So, whenever I was boarding the plane, I was like, no way, this thing is packed, yada, yada, yada. And I did end up like manifesting a seat in between. But I wonder if I had stayed in that high vibe energy, could that person have just not been there in that reality? Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
It 100% does. 100%.
Mhm.
Because you give power to that thought
Yes.
and it like supercharges it into happening. And
Mhm.
it's crazy because that's what worry does too. And I am such a worry person. Like, or I used to be, not anymore. See, we're implementing it now.
Yup.
And I feel like everything I would worry about would not necessarily would all happen, but for the most part, it would happen. And I would just have to experience it twice, as they say. Like when you worry about something, you're literally going through it, like putting yourself through all of it twice in the most intense way because it steals all of your good energy in the now, for something that may or may not even happen. But the more you put energy into it, the more it's going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's like, even if you don't realize you're doing it, it's good to be more aware of your thoughts in that way so that you can redirect them. And
Mhm.
girl, I have been doing that too lately. And that's funny that you even said that because this new relationship I'm in, I'm trying so hard not to like have those types of thoughts that I like would usually have in relationships. Like, any like insecurities or like what ifs or anything like that because I just know like once I get one of those, it can like trickle very quickly
Mhm.
to like a bunch of thoughts of like self-sabotage. And that's exactly how those things happen, like in relationships and within your goals and within your manifestations. It's like you're not necessarily doing it on purpose, but they all add up. Like every ounce of energy you put into a thought or a feeling like that really manifests itself into whatever it is.
Mhm.
So we're going to be careful. We're going to stay on the high vibe. We're going to stay up here. We get to look at all the little nasty thoughts under us. We're not even going to go near them. Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. And I love your idea of redirecting it because that's exactly what I've been doing. There's like little things that maybe you're just paranoid about or get you nervous or you're worried about so and so is going to say what and it's going to affect who and whatever it is that's just eating your brain away. What I've been doing is I just think of the opposite happening and I kind of like what Michaela always says, bully it out. I kind of do the same thing, like naturally. I'm like, no, this would never happen because XYZ. Or what if this happens and it's actually something good, something I would want to happen? So I've really been taking that power of those negative thoughts, those worries, and each time I'm putting every effort to just making it a positive, to manifesting it in that energy. And I will say it's been working. It really has been. I've been sleeping better, I've been feeling better. And I feel like when I had gotten back from Bali, I did so much releasing that a lot of these things come up, especially if you ladies or gentlemen are doing some shadow work and you're digging deep about how you're feeling, about what you were experiencing. It can bring up those feelings all over again. And you just have to work through them and continue healing. And, I always know the quote, healing isn't linear. Well, it's true with your manifestations as well.
Oh my God, that's so true. I love that quote too. I've used that in my head like a million times, like this past couple months. Because for me, like December and January were really like the lowest, you
Mhm.
know, point and like the darkest months for me. And they were super hard. And in a way, it was, it made it so clear how directing your energy in certain ways can actually work for you or be the complete downfall for you. So within those two really dark months, I was paying attention to my thoughts, but I was letting them get dark and get deep and get just so negative. But I was still observing them, which was kind of interesting. And it wasn't more that I was like giving up on like, trying to lift myself up, but it was more like I kind of want to see like I already feel like crap. Like I want to see what is going to happen within this.
Mhm.
Because before that, like if you know me, me and Sammy are all love and light all the time. And like we lift ourselves up, we lift each other up, we lift people up. Like that's just what we do. So it was kind of like a reflective period for me and something to be like, this feels different, but it feels like comfortable for now. So let me just see what we're working with. When I tell you I manifested all of the worst things, like all of the things I didn't want to happen, I was putting the negative energy out there and they were actually happening. So we know that I had, well, maybe we don't know, but I had a boyfriend like when I was in Costa Rica, and it was nothing like too serious. It was just like whatever, nothing to really worry about. But when we got back here, obviously I just lost one of my best friends, and the relationship between him and I like quickly crumbled. And it was a lot of miscommunication and a lot of not understanding each other and a lot of negative energy that I put into it as well. So like I totally take responsibility on my end. So that happened and we were not strong enough to go through with that. And then the test, the my massage therapy test that I took, which I was stressing about so much and I was putting so much worried energy in and so much like, oh my God, but nothing's going right. So why would this go right? Like type of thinking. And lo and behold, like obviously I wasn't going to pass if I was in such a low like energetic state for the longest time. And I knew that in my head too. Like part of me was like, I just like I feel like this ain't it, chief. But then I started picking myself back up. And it hit a point where it was like, okay, the only way to go now is up. Like, that's it. There's no other option after this. And once I did that and started really like clearing my energy, clearing my thoughts, getting everything in alignment, everything started to come and piece itself back together. And it was like clockwork. It was like boom, 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 boom. So it was like I got a boyfriend, and not just any boyfriend, like the most amazing person on the face of the earth. And then boom, I passed the MBLEX, like I passed the test. And then boom, I got like this dream job that I'm just like absolutely in love with. And I'm just like so beaming with joy, like with life again. And like that all happened within a matter of how many months? 3?
Yeah,
Like,
even shorter, I would say.
yeah, it was such a night and day situation. And honestly, like it was just that huge shift that I just like put my foot down and was like, okay, enough of that. We're done with that. Now we're going to kick it into high gear and
Mhm.
we're going to clear all that shit out.
Yes.
And then it comes to you. It's nothing you really have to chase. It just attracts itself to you and to your high energy. And I feel like manifesting is, the term is thrown around so much these days, but like this is why, because it's so powerful. And when you really like learn and master how to do it, amazing things just come to you. And it's amazing. So we're on the up and up. And we're going to continue to go on the up and up.
Woo woo!
Yeah, exactly. And then I did the challenge with Sammy, her workout challenge. And let me tell you, like, my body is feeling great. Like, my sleep is better already. Like, this just started like 2 weeks ago, probably, not even. And it's like everything that I've manifested as far as my health just came to me through Sammy's program. And Sammy, it was such divine timing in that way, too, because it started like around the time that everything was happening. So it's like, I feel great. So yeah, that's my spiel on manifesting.
Girl,
It's real,
I love
people.
that for you. Yes, it is real. Taylor is living proof. And I just kept telling her when she had come to me, we talked the same day that she found out that she had failed. And I was just like, that's okay. Now you know what's on the test. You're going to get it the next time. And I think, especially when it comes to manifestation, especially when it comes to the really big things, you have to trust and you have to choose every single day to believe that it's going to work out. And I had told her that. I was like, girl, you just got to believe it's happening for a reason. And she truly did. She truly did. And also, I know it could be easy listening to Taylor and hearing how she got all of these things. But I want to put an emphasis on how fucking hard she worked. Okay. She did all the action steps. She did all the work on herself and her own demons to heal within first. She did all the work within the challenge. Like she's talking about it, but she's crushing it. Okay. She's doing her workouts. She's checking in with me. She had Chick-fil-A and she's even fucking tracking her food. Like she's learning how to eat out, eat the foods that she loves while hitting her caloric goals. And she's like she said, she's feeling better. So I just want to tell you that like she's doing the work, and just let this serve as proof that when you put in the work, when you do the reps and you do what matters, it will always unfold. And just like Taylor said, it unfolds so quickly. You wouldn't even
Mhm.
believe it.
Yeah. Oh my God. First of all, I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. It wasn't easy. That's for shit, sure. But you know what? I did always hear your voice in my head, like all your little affirmations that you have, and especially the universe likes timing. Like you taught me that, or likes, what is it? The universe likes fastness.
It's the universe like speed.
Speed. Why couldn't I think of that word?
Either way, it's just all about the intention. But it likes when you know what you want and you go for it. And I think that's
Yeah.
like one of the reasons Taylor and I always get what we want, or if it's taking a little longer, a lot of the times is because we don't know if we actually fully want it. But when we
Oh
know
my God.
that we want something, we make that shit happen. Like Taylor would have taken that test 10 times if she had to. And she
Yes.
told me that. Like she knew somebody who I don't know why they would tell her they took something 8 different times, love it, but they told her that and she was like, "Oh my God, but if I have to do that, I will." That's
Hmm.
perseverance, baby. That's dedication. And shit, so proud of the other person too that they took it 8 times. I feel like that was such a good representation of like, this is what it takes, but you can do it. It's totally achievable. And the hard work, again, always pays off.
Oh my God, I love you. You're right. You're so right.
Mm.
Oh, it's just, yeah, it's about finding out, first and foremost, finding out what you definitely want for yourself. It's so true. Like when you're back and forth between things and you're not clear on what it is,
Mm.
you know, the universe is confused too. It's like, do you want it or do you not? It's all about the frequency you're putting out.
I agree.
And it's like, if you're going to be in between, you might not get it. So we are sure of ourselves this spring equinox. We're sitting down and we're going to look at what it is we want to manifest moving forward. And we're going to be totally clear on it. And we're going to figure out what our next steps are. I feel like the best way of doing that, at least for me, is journaling.
Mhm.
Like when I could just sit in my head and like have a comfy spot and be like, okay, let's be honest with ourselves. What do we want that we're willing to do anything for?
Yeah, I love
Willing
that
to do
question.
anything to get anything. And then it kind of comes to you, even if you meditate on it, at
Mm.
least for me.
Girl, I
But
don't know.
hell yeah, girl, I'm talking to the manifesting queen. I almost forgot. My bad.
Well, you said the question, and the first thing was like, ooh, and I'm looking at my vision board over here. So I think doing things like this, where you can actually have a visual representation of what you're manifesting, it helps a lot. It makes things crystal fucking clear.
Yes, it definitely does. Like, never underestimate the power of a vision board. Like, at first, it was kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it. And I was like, but I love arts and crafts. So let me try it. But seriously, having it up every single day and seeing it just like stare back at you, being like, this is the life you could have. This is the car you could have. This is the trip you could go on. And it's like, all of them are possible. And the more you look at it, the more you see yourself in that car, the more you see yourself on that island, the more you see yourself with that degree in your hand. And you realize like nothing's impossible, nothing's too far out of reach on this realm. Everything can be attracted to us in such an easy way. Things can just fall into your lap one day, and your life can change like that. So it's like, who are we to argue with divine timing? Who are we to argue with the universe and what we're supposed to be getting or doing?
I agree.
Right?
I totally agree.
Yeah, girl. So, spring equinox, we're clearing shit out that we don't want first and foremost.
Well, usually that's when I would do journaling is
Mhm.
typically when I need to like release things. But truthfully, I feel like I released a lot in Bali. I feel like that was
Yeah.
really my time of releasing. And even the time after that, when I was sick and just all the action steps I've been taking since I've been home, a lot of it has to do with releasing. And it's just kind of like what Taylor and I talked about earlier of rewiring those thoughts, of not allowing those old thought patterns, that old version of you to come back every single time you decide, no, I cleared that out. I'm this now. And you redecide who
Mhm.
you are. I think another thing is shower rituals. For sure, I can have the most powerful clearing by just raising my arms up over my head and saying, I release this self doubt. I release this comparison. I release this pressure that I put on myself. I release perfectionism to try to make everybody else happy with who I am. I release a lot of these things because, with my job, I was never a really big fan of social media before I started my job. You know, I loved it. I loved that it was a way that I could express myself. However, I had a really unhealthy relationship with it for quite some time. And I actually did a social media break for 6 months. So I feel like for me, a lot of the things I had to release was one, the pressures of trying to be like all these amazing coaches that are just like kind of something my best friend Maddie said. They're at chapter 200 and I'm at chapter 10. You know, like they've just put in the reps. They've done it longer than me. They're more experienced. And even today, I was taking content with Tom and my form was really good. I was speaking well. However, the lighting at our gym just isn't the best. And it's a public gym. So there was like literally a guy mopping in the background. And I was like, oh, I don't want to post this. And right then and there, I had to rewire my thoughts and be like, hey, I'm not her. She's at a gym right now where they can have a camera, they can have all this production type things. That's what it's for. I'm at a public gym. I like my gym. I enjoy my space here, you know? And it's just literally choosing over and over again to do that. But back to the shower method, I say all of the things that I'm releasing. And this is something that I talked about with my aunt. And it's so powerful speaking it out loud, Taylor. Like, I feel like that has been the most major way I fucking released is just talking to myself out loud.
Yes, I totally agree. I do the same thing.
It's dope. It
Mhm.
works so well. And sometimes things come out and I'm like, wow, I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't know I was feeling this way to this extent.
You know what's wild that you said that? There was this manifestation like method that I tried. And I think that this kind of went into play with when everything was manifesting for me. So I wonder if that was like a huge part of it.
Okay.
But when you said like speaking out loud and speaking things like into existence made me think of it like I was in the car and for whatever reason, when you just get called to like say affirmations, like wherever you are, or just like, I don't know, like you said, releasing this or just speaking whatever into the universe. I was so called to do that in that moment, but in like an interview form. So
Ooh.
it was like someone interviewing me and being like, Taylor, how did you do it? Like, how did you get to your success? And I started just explaining in full detail, like, like everything that came to me, like everything I wanted, how I got it all. And then, like, I started explaining this boyfriend that I didn't have at the time and like a group of best friends. And I'd be like, yeah, and my boyfriend that is so funny and so sweet and this isn't this and just explaining like everything that I wanted in that boyfriend, explaining how he came into my life so unexpectedly and saying like his role in my life. And then I just did that with every like goal that I had, but said it as if I already got it. You know what I mean? So someone, which they tell you to do, like say it in the past tense as if like you already have it to this day. So with someone asking me, how did you get it? Back then, and you just like answering it that way and feeling so excited and so just like energized about it. And I don't know where this, like, I don't know where I learned this, to be honest. Like, it just like popped into my head to like be interviewed or like interview myself. It kind of felt like I was interviewing my higher self in a way. You know
Ooh.
what I mean? And that felt like one of the most powerful things I could have done because I was releasing all of the old stories of myself and even of whatever I have right now. I was letting go of all of it and just being like, yeah, this is how I got to be like this higher version that I am right now. So it was like, I don't know, totally try it if you're ever feeling called to do it. Like it was really beneficial for me. And the energy of just speaking with so much excitement, like kind of brings it about too. And then it feels so real. Like it just felt like I was being interviewed.
Dude, I was literally like typing out as you were talking, like, oh my God, I need to go do this. One thing that Michaela had actually taught us in the MMM was sometimes what she does is when she has like something negative going on in her brain, she'll do exactly what you do and she just says affirmations to the opposite direction to what she actually wants, and she
Hmm.
records it. So I used to do this when we first moved here, and I don't know why I stopped. It's always those things. You're like, do it, it works, then you're like, I'm not going to do this anymore. But
Oh,
I would record myself saying affirmations and I would listen to it on my hot girl walks. So that's what she would tell you to do. It's like when you're doing this interview thing, record yourself. And you can even go back. That would be such cool social proof. But to go back and be like, this is what I said on so and so date. It is now so and so. And I hit my goal. And that's something I did with Taylor actually, because I was manifesting a huge money goal. Okay. And I put so much intention into this money goal. I was listening to this song called, what is it? Yay Coins.
yes. Oh my
Yes.
God.
So I listened to that shit on repeat. And one of the things that I did was I imagined myself telling my best friend. Like I imagined myself telling Taylor. And when I finally hit the money goal, I took a video and I sent it to her and I said, Taylor, holy fucking shit. I actually did it. Like I actually genuinely did it. Sent her a screenshot. I can't believe this happened. But it felt like deja vu because I had
Yeah.
been doing that for so long, you know? So I feel like you said, getting in the energy. It's like, even if you imagine that you are also telling your best friend, because sometimes for me, it's just not as realistic only with myself. I've always imagined sharing my success with others, especially because I am so called to teach others how to step into their own power. You know, so I feel like that method works amazing for me. And it does, because I always tell you first thing.
I know. Oh my God. I get so hyped whenever your manifestations come true because I'm like, well, girl, I knew it was gonna. This ain't no surprise to me. But it's just really cool. Like you said, the deja vu of it. Like it's not even like it's a far out thing where you're surprised anymore. It's like, yeah, deja vu. Knew this was
Yeah.
gonna happen. And
Hmm.
it did.
So I feel like with the spring equinox, I feel like a lot of this has to do with how to maintain this energy, you know, how to get there, but stay there so that you
Mhm.
continue to see your goals and your manifestations unlock all year round.
Yes. Oh my God. And if anyone is still in that beginning stage, where like you're not sure where to go from here, not sure what you want, like take this as a sign to start.
Mhm.
Like there's no better time than the spring equinox, baby.
Mhm.
Start right now. You have all the energies of the universe working in your favor behind you. So, and you have us. So, what more could you really need?
For real.
Shit. So, what are we manifesting moving forward, you might ask, Miss Sammy?
Okay, so I've been knowing what I've been manifesting for quite some time, but like I had said earlier, there is a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of unknown that I don't have the answers to. However, I know exactly what I want. So we're going to be focusing on the characteristics. So the first thing that came to mind earlier when you said, what is that thing you would be willing to do anything for? Honestly, that is moving to Austin. I have wanted to move to Austin for so long now. My cousin Katie lives there and she's been there for 3+ years. Absolutely loves it. I've always wanted to see her. It's been on my vision board for over 2 years now. And I'm finally going there at the end of May. I'm so, so, so pumped for this. And Tom and Nala are going to be coming with me. So we're going to be looking at apartments. We're going to be looking at little townhouses. And that's why I say there's so much uncertainty right now because one, we're not too sure exactly where we want to live. I definitely want privacy. I feel like that is so important to me. And right now we have like 50 different neighbors and everybody knows everybody. And I really would just love to be able to go outside, enjoy my porch, and not have people staring at me when I do my lives every single day. Like it happens every day. There's just so many people and they live here too. So rightfully so. So I had to take responsibility and say, okay, I tried it out. It was my first time living in an apartment like this. Don't necessarily love this. Maybe the change we make is that we go to the second floor where we do have privacy because it's a balcony, you know? So there's just a lot of moving parts there. However, I know that I want to go somewhere where I just feel high vibe. And I know that my coach Michaela lives there as well. She's been there for a year and I saw her in Bali and she was like, "Sammy, you're going to love it, girl. You're going to love it." And everyone that's been there says that. I also really want to manifest more of a community of just souls that I can truly relate to. This goes into my number three of just being one person. I just want to be Sammy. I just want to be the same person with every single person I come into contact with. I want to be spiritual 24 fucking 7, you know? I feel like I've hidden so many parts of myself and molded myself to what people wanted in the past for so long. I didn't know any different. And when I went to Bali, I was like, fuck that. Actually, when I went to Kelowna, I was like, fuck that. Because it was the first time I told my story for me and somebody had said, they go, "Sammy, you have $1 million fucking story. Why are you not sharing it?" And it was because I was too scared of what the other people would say. I was too scared of offending and hurting and blah, blah, blah. But I was hurting myself the most by not authentically being me. So being one person is huge. And I want that within the people I surround myself with. I always say, like, I want more Taylors. I want more people in my life that I leave and I feel like I do talking to Taylor. That's the standard that I have. And in Austin, my cousin just knows so many amazing people, and her people are her people. We've actually had this conversation, which I loved. It was like adulty. However, the people that she hangs out with sound amazing. And she has so many friends that are actually fitness coaches too. And I don't have any that are like I do from my business mentorship, but they all live really far away. I want some that I can go and film content with, or we can go to the coffee shop together and we can work. Or let's say I'm having something with a client and I really would love an opinion. They could come and give me a hug and help me figure it out. You know, I want that type of support. And I feel like this year I was, like I said, healing so much, releasing. I really came into like solitude this year with our move. Within our next move, I want to blossom like the biggest, most beautiful flowers. So, those are really my big intentions. And then I feel like when it comes to the fourth one, it's really about creating a sense of stability. I've been creating and manifesting and leveling up and leveling up. And I just want to just thrive but have a stable foundation. And because we were going to move literally like 2 months in here. So I never had that mindset of, well, I'm going to feel stable here because I always knew I was going somewhere else, you know? So I'm really excited to see what I can build just happy in my environment, especially because it's probably, and I don't know this for a fact, but I know that the airport that I have right now, it's super small. So trying to travel can be such a hassle, and travel is huge for me. So that would be number 5, is to manifest the best retreats, the best flights, the comfort, so that each time I go away, I could come back going, "Taylor, I did it."
Oh,
Yeah, that's my little breakdown. That's my spiel.
I love those. Those
Really?
are so perfect. Oh my
Oh,
God. And so it is.
and
And you
so
should
it
get
is.
all those.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because it's already written in the stars for you and it's already on its way to you. So,
I thank you so much. I totally agree. And also just with the family and foundation I've built here, you know, I know I didn't. I was like, shit, I didn't mention Tom or Nala, especially as 555 Feed Nala comes up. That's nuts. However, I would like to add a last one of I'm so grateful for the people and my little fur babies that I have in my life. And like Tom, Nala, Boomy, like they are my foundation. They help keep me stable and loved and grounded. So I really want to have all of these things and I want to emphasize that I want it with them. You know, just to give a little shout out in case you're listening, babe.
yes, of course, girl. Shout them all out.
Woo!
They're the best. I love them so much.
Oh, and they love you.
Yeah, count me in that mix. I want to be in that mix.
Oh, you already know you are. And that's why I'm going to come to you and ask, so what are your manifestations for this spring equinox?
So some of mine are similar actually, which isn't a surprise because we both love traveling. We're both in this like authentic moment in our lives, like stage where we're really trying to just like blend all of ourselves into like one version so we could just, attract the right people, attract the right things for us. So, yeah, I'd say that's probably like one of my number one is to just live the most authentic life I can and just like be as real and as honest and as open as I can. Because I feel like you learn more that way. And you like attract things that are meant for you. There's no mask on with anything. It's just like the raw version. What you see is what you get. And I feel like that's just so beneficial, not just for yourself and like going through life, but for other people because they can see you. And there's just, I don't know, something so beautiful about it. And ever since like we talked about authenticity and that was our goal, like I think we talked about it on a couple podcasts ago, probably, it really was just stuck in my mind of like, that really is like the goal.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more beautiful than that and nothing more freeing than that. Because it's like, why would you want to live any other life than just like an authentically raw life? I don't know. And that also goes hand in hand with how I want to feel. I want to feel healthy. I want my whole body to be nourished and just in its best and high vibing state all the time. So to eat healthy and clean foods and eat, natural foods from the earth is like such a priority for me these days. We're gonna like not talk about the Chick-fil-A that I just ate. We're gonna ignore that. But honestly, like manifesting things moving forward, like that's how I see it. I just see myself just like thriving in all different healthy ways and aspects. Also my job is another manifestation. Like I already manifested it, but I want so many more modalities under my belt. Like I want to be able to heal people in so many other ways. So right now I really want to learn lymphatic draining, cupping. I want to learn craniosacral, which I already learned a little bit on, but I want to like be really good at it.
Yeah.
And the beautiful part about massage therapy and just like body work in general is that there are so many different branches you can learn from and like continuously learn. So, yeah, I definitely want to make a point to have a couple of those learned and mastered, even by the end of the year. Like, that's maybe at least 3 or 4 by the end of the year
You
is
can
the
do it.
goal.
Yep, I see it.
Thank you, girl, right? I want to be able to help people in as many ways as I can. And then lastly, traveling, like you said too, like we are big travel girls. We want to see the world. The world wants to see us.
Whoop,
There
whoop.
is just so much out there and so much left to learn. Like when you travel, you're not only learning about the world, you are learning about yourself. And there's so much that comes up, whether it's like shadow work or inner child work or just things that you don't even think about while you're traveling and you're just like in your element there. And I see a lot of road trips in my future. I see a lot of flights, but also I'm trying to make it back to Costa Rica. Like, I don't know when, but definitely I want to live there at some point.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely going to journal today, being the first day of spring equinox. And I'm going to fine tune all of these so that they're very specific. But in more of a broad sense, those are my top three for sure. And that is how I see my life going and moving in all those directions and just like beautiful harmony. So we're going to make it fucking happen.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Snap, snap, snap. And that is Taylor and I's signature way that we always close out our manifestations. We always talk about what we want. And so it is, baby. We speak it. And remember, You only have to speak it once for it to be that powerful to come into your life. So, Taylor, I already know it's all coming to you, baby girl. You Gucci.
I'll come to you too. Okay. See, this is us solidifying it. And then we're going to have another podcast in the future of us being like, so we did that thing.
Yep. Mhm.
So it all happened.
100%. I mean, we're going to be updating you, ladies and gentlemen, every single step of the way. You know, it is inevitable that Taylor and I are going to be talking about these things just because they're such big parts of who we are. And I think that's one of the things I love and appreciate so much about manifestation is because you can really tell who people's core values are just
Mhm.
by what they're manifesting or just by what their goals are. You can learn a lot about a person. And I feel like keeping people who have similar goals to you around, oh, that makes the power just that much more powerful. It like literally ignites such a spark. And I think that's why Taylor and I always just end up inevitably getting what we want is because we both are so high vibe. We both believe it for ourselves, but also fully believe it for each other. You know,
Mhm.
like I remember telling Taylor, I was like, hey, I respect your opinion. I believe in you. Like whatever you feel about a situation, I'll feel that way too. Like I trust you that much. And that's how I feel about the things that she says she's gonna do. So, if you are struggling to have that within yourself, get somebody, and it doesn't need to be too many people. It can be one person, it could be your animal, it can be whatever, an angel, a spirit guide, you know, whatever works for you. But have that just energy that you can pour your love and manifestations into that you know they would do the same.
Oh my God. I love you. I couldn't have said that better myself. That was literally perfect. Perfect. You heard the girl, people. That is your homework.
Yes, it is. I feel like you guys got a lot of juicy information today. So if you need to, take a listen to this 2 times, 3 times, because you never know what you're going to pick up each time that you listen back.
So true. Even us listening back, we don't even like realize how beneficial it is when we're saying it, but sometimes afterwards we need to hear it too.
Girl, that's why I said
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So send this to a friend.
Oh,
Send this
yeah.
to someone being like, I want you to be that person for me.
Hmm.
And if you're lucky enough to have a Sammy in your life, you are lucky enough.
Oh, I love
Okay.
you.
I
I
love
wonder how many times we say that to each other. We're just like, I love you. I love you.
you. Good. It should be more than that. Let's
It
keep
really
it
should.
up.
It really should. Like every single time I end a conversation with a friend, I end an audio, I always say I love you. And I feel like it just comes from, you know, when you lose somebody, you never know when that last time was. So I always make sure the people that I love know that I love
Yes. Oh my
them.
God, I love that so. But you're so right. You don't know. The more you say I love you, the more you're just spreading all the love around. It's like a plant. If you hold a plant and you're telling it beautiful, positive affirmations and saying I love you, that plant is gonna flourish, baby.
Mhm.
So I hope you flourish, baby.
Yeah, and make sure that you're doing the same with your manifestations. Make sure you are watering them, you're giving them their affirmations, you're giving them their love because you deserve everything that you want. All these things that we've been talking about, we want them because they want us. It's all a part of this whole thing called divine timing.
Oh, we love her.
Mhm.
We love divine timing.
So, in that sense, I feel like this is an amazing time to wrap this one up. But it has been such a pleasure, Taylor. Like this conversation, it lit me up. I feel like I'm gonna go on my hot girl walk right now, just feeling like a baddie.
Hell yeah. I feel the same way. I feel so much better. Like, I feel healed in every aspect. I'm
Yeah.
ready to run through a wall right now.
And hopefully, all of you feel the exact same way. Hopefully, you can feel our energy, feel all these good vibes, and take this feeling so much better than you started when you first started listening to it.
Fuck yeah.
All right, Tay, where can they find you?
They could find me on Instagram at Taylor Babel, Bavl. And where can they find you, girlfriend?
You can find me on all platforms. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and it's going to be Sammy Ruess, SAMIRUESS _
And lastly, you got to follow our Soul Sync account. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. So hit up all three of those.
Yup.
It is under Soul Sync SB for spiritual bitches. Psych, spiritual besties, but say whatever.
That was
Whatever
amazing.
floats your boat.
Whatever energy you're in for the day, sometimes
Ex-
you gotta feel like a bad bitch.
exactly. Soul Sync SB,
Woo!
baby.
I love
All
it.
right. And don't forget to submit any questions you have for us too, or any takeaways or wins you get from our podcast. We want to hear it all.
Yep.
Okay. We're here for you, people.
We
So,
love you.
we fucking love you, bitch. So, until next time, happy spring equinox.
Happy manifesting.
Peace out.
Bye bye.